Now let's factor one in which we have a binomial factor in common. Let's look at 2a times x minus 3y plus 3b times x minus 3y. Notice that both of them have the common factor of x minus 3y. Now I can pretend that x minus 3y is a single expression. And it is a single expression, single factor x minus 3y. I can pretend that so I can then apply the distributive property. So I'm going to factor an x minus 3y from both of them. In other words, I'm going to divide both of them by x minus 3y. And I'm going to get x minus 3y times 2a plus 3b. Now let me go over to the side and show you what I have done to get these terms, or I'll just work it under it. I've taken the 2a times x minus 3y and divided it by x minus 3y, and I took the 3b times x minus 3y and I divided it by x minus 3y. In other words, I divided the polynomial by the common factor x minus 3y. Now x minus 3y divided by x minus 3y is 1. Again, to divide powers having the same base, you keep the base, subtract the exponent. So it would be 1 minus 1 is 0. And this raised to 0 power is 1. So when I divide something by itself, I get 1. And over here, when I divide something by itself, I get 1. 2a times 1 is 2a. 3b times 1 is 3b. So the answer is x minus 3y times 2a plus 3b. Let's look at another example. Let's factor 14x squared times a plus 3 minus 7x cubed times a plus 3. To start with, notice that both of them have an a plus 3 in common. So if I factor the a plus 3 from both of them, I have a plus 3 times 14x squared minus 7x cubed. When I factor the a plus 3 out of the first one, I'm left with the 14x squared. If I take the a plus 3 out of the second one, I'm left with 7x squared. So I have a plus 3 times 14x squared minus 7x cubed. Notice I can factor 14x squared minus 7x cubed again. So I just write down the a plus 3 and I divide out my common factor of 7x squared. I ask what is the largest number that goes into both 14 and 7. The answer is 7. They have x as the common variable. The smallest exponent on the x is 2. If I divide 7x squared into 14x squared, I get 2. 7 goes into 14 2 times. X squared divided by x squared would be x to the 0 or 1. And then the 2 times 1 is 2. If I divide 7x squared into 7x cubed, I get x. 7 goes into 7 1. To divide powers having the same base, keep the base, subtract the exponents. 3 minus 2 is exponent 1. 1 times x is x. Now I might want to turn the answer around and write it as 7x squared times a plus 3 times 2 minus x. In some cases, I do not have a common factor at all, but I can create a common binomial factor. Let's look at this example. AB plus 3a plus 2b plus 6. I have nothing common to all four terms. However, if I group them by pairs, I have AB plus 3a grouped, and I have 2b plus 6 grouped. Now notice AB plus 3a has a common factor of a. 2b plus 6 has a common factor of 2. So I can factor a from the first pair to get b plus 3. A into AB is b, a into 3a is 3. I can factor 2 from the second pair to get 2 times b plus 3. 2 will go into 2b, b, 2 will go into 6, 3. So I remove the common factor of A from the first pair. I remove the common factor of 2 from the second pair. Now I could not do anything as far as factoring unless I do get the same binomial factor. Notice in both cases I get b plus 3. So we have the common binomial factor of b plus 3. So therefore I can factor out the b plus 3 and be left with the a plus the 2. If I take a b plus 3 out of the first term, I'm left with a. If I take a b plus 3 out of the second term, I'm left with 2. Let's look at another example. Let's factor 6ab minus 2ay minus 3bx plus xy. Again, I do not have a factor common to all four terms. However, I can group them and create a common factor to each pair. I'm going to group the 6ab and the negative 2ay together. And I'm going to group the negative 3bx and the xy together. Here I have a common factor of 2a. Here I have a common factor of negative x. I'm going to divide 2a out of the first one to get 2a times 3b minus y. 2a into 6ab is 3b. 2a into a negative 2ay is negative y. Now I'm going to divide out the negative x from the second pair. A negative x into a negative 3bx is 3b, because a negative divided by negative is positive. Then a negative x into a positive xy is a negative y, because a positive divided by negative is negative. Now we have the common pairwise factor of 3b minus y. We have the common binomial factor 3b minus y. Removing that common binomial factor, I have 3b minus y times the 2a minus the x. So I factored out my common factor, 3b minus y. I'm left with the 2a minus x. Now it's time for you to do some more exercises. The first one, 4a times the quantity x minus 2 plus 5b times the quantity x minus 2. The second one, 16a squared times the quantity 3y minus 1 subtract 12ab times the quantity 3y minus 1. The third one, 2ax plus 4a minus x minus 2. On the third one, you will need to break them into pairs, take out the common factor for each pair, and then see if you have a common binomial factor. Copy down the 3 problems and then stop the tape. Once you have worked the 3 problems, restart the tape to check your answers. The answer to the first one is x minus 2, because that's the common factor, times 4a plus 5b. The answer to the second one, 3y minus 1 times 4a minus 3b. You needed to take out the common factor of 3y minus 1, and then you would have 3y minus 1 times 16a squared minus 12ab. Then you take out the common factor 4a from that second factor. The third one, I did not give you the answer because I want to go through and work it for you since that's a little tougher.